everything?
Just when I tee off.
Okay. All right. Just when you tee off. So anytime you have the ball on a tee or with any club, no matter whether it's a par 3, like this hole, or a par 5. Okay.
It's just
so
teeing off. I don't know.
Teeing off in general.
Yeah, just like.
We'll blame it on the tee.
Yeah.
So you just hit it off the ground. Okay. All right. So we'll come back to that in a minute. Tell me a little bit about your game. How long have you been playing?
I've been playing. Well, I started when I was younger, and then I stopped. And I've been playing like my whole high school career.
Okay. And you're what year?
Senior.
You're a senior. Okay. Nice. And you play on the golf team?
Yes.
For Sandia?
Sandia, yes.
Nice. What number do you play on the team?
Right now, I'm number 1.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great. Where do you guys play state? Where do you play state this year? Is it here in
Here.
Albuquerque? Okay. No, for next year.
Oh, I think it's in Farmington.
Oh, is it in Farmington? Okay. Okay. All right. So, do you have your handicap established?
No.
Anywhere? Okay. What's your average score?
Like
maybe
on
give
18
me.
or-
Yeah. 18 hole score.
Like in the 90s.
Okay. Okay. So 90s, like mid 90s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mid 90s or low 90s.
Okay. All right. Nice. Okay. All right. So tell me a little bit about, or tell me about your goals. Do you set some goals for yourself for this last year in high
Just
school?
to have fun and like to
have
learn
fun.
how to play better.
How to play better golf?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you wanting to lower your scoring average at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
Okay. So you're shooting. So would you say you average like for the high school season like 95?
Yeah.
You guys keep your okay. All right. So if we were gonna set a long-term goal, I mean, do you have to qualify for the state tournament?
Yes.
What do
like
you have to
96.
shoot? You have to shoot 96. Okay. How many times do you have to do that?
I believe it's 4 times.
Okay. So 4 times. They still do it by legs. It's like 4 legs. Okay.
Yeah.
And you have the spring or the fall and the spring to do that? Okay, so you gotta hit 96. Okay, so did you played in state last year? Didn't play in state, okay. This would be your first year playing in state? This next year, okay. So that's your goal? Okay. All right, to play in state, okay. So you had mentioned this problem that you have going to the right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's just like my wrist, my break it, or like my shoulders. I don't know. It's something.
Something, but the ball's not starting at your target. That's what you're saying. Okay. So we have 18 opportunities, right? Out of those 18 holes, how many times are you missing the ball to the right, or hitting the ball to the right?
It's like my first serve, so maybe like 4 times.
4 or 5 times out of the whole round?
18.
Out of 18 holes? Okay.
Like
Okay, I was thinking you were going to say like every, because before you made it sound like it was every time.
Like I get used to it, or like sometimes it'll be like really good, and then
Okay.
it'll be like bad, and then it'll go back to good.
Okay, so it's just kind of fluctuates?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe some of those other ones are just acceptable. Maybe they're still to the right, but just not like so far right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of when we're talking about rights, so I kind of get an idea of what we're talking about here. We're on this hole is we're going to try to actually aim for a target.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we're talking about missing those balls to the right, like how far to the right are we talking?
Like sometimes I'll be like over by that far tree, or I could be over like on the other side of the center track.
Okay, so like right edge, like just over the right edge of the green, but most of the time, or a lot of the time, it's further, even further to the right. Okay, so obviously the further right you get here, the more difficult it becomes on this hole, right, to get it up and down. Okay, I gotcha. Okay, so I just kind of have an idea. So we're talking about maybe a 25 or 30 yard slice.
Yeah.
Okay, or push. I mean, tell me a little bit about how that ball flies. Does it fly directly in that right pattern, or is it kind of starting out left?
Like starts straight and kind of goes that way.
Okay, so it starts straight and then it ends up a little right. Okay, so it could be a little bit of face, could be a little path, could be primarily club face. So I'll be able to tell after I see you hit a couple shots. Okay, so hitting it to the right. Do you have any injuries, Caitlin? Anything? No back problems, shoulders, anything like that? Okay. Do you play other sports? No other sports. Okay. Any other hobbies?
Does Senate count? Like student council?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm very involved with school, so
Okay. Good student? Good.
DECA and stuff.
DECA, okay. So you do, that is one thing I never did. So that was a lot of public speaking and debate and things like that.
Yep.
That's awesome. I was never one to talk in front of a crowd like that. But that's good. I think that's awesome. Okay, so a lot of speaking and things like that. Do you work out?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do for workouts?
Try to jump rope.
Okay. Okay.
And maybe,
That's
like,
good.
walk
That's
around
really
the
good.
park or
That's really
something.
good exercise. Yeah. Jump roping. Okay. So did you go to a gym or you just kind of do it
At my
on your-
house.
At your house. Okay. You have a home gym. Okay. Nice. Okay. So no injuries. Do you stretch? Important question. Before you
Well,
play.
not with my clubs.
Okay.
But I do stretch.
But you do stretch. Do you stretch at the golf course or do you stretch at home?
Like when I get to the golf course. I
You do.
stretch.
Okay. So can you show me just a little bit about what you do,
Okay.
and then I might make some suggestions. Okay.
Like this.
So you kind of pull across. Okay. Good.
And
So
then
that kind of gets into your shoulders.
Uh-huh.
Good. And it's really important. I know you're young, but you can still get injured pretty
Yeah.
easily. And especially as it starts to get a little bit cooler and you're at high school golf practices. And I remember those days just being
It's
cold and
cold.
windy and just awful. So you want to make sure that you're doing a little bit of gentle stretching. So this is a good one too, where you just kind of push your thumb on your elbow, kind of get your hand to work down into your back. Yeah. So shoulders are obviously really important in golf, right? Hip flexors are another important area, right? A lot of times we get kind of tight in our hip flexors. So one of the things that I like to do is just kind of cross and sit down. Yeah, and if your balance is
It's, like,
bad,
really
like mine,
bad
then
balance.
you might want to grab your club and just hold on to it. Okay, so you just want to kind of sit back just a little bit, and you'll probably notice that you have one side that's a little bit tighter than the other side. I do, for sure.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, you feel that? It's
Yeah.
amazing, yeah. Okay, so that's a really good thing for your hips.
And
You
I
can
feel
do-
pull, like, my leg.
You do back? Okay, that's good. Yeah, it gets to the top of that thigh muscle. Good. I used to do that in soccer all the time, way back in the day. All right. Okay, and then another one that just kind of hits across, right? That kind of gets into, again, the internal and external part of our hip. Okay. That way. Good. And then I always like to just kind of end with just a basic roll down, basically, right? To just get that lower back loosened up, get the neck, let the neck hang nice and heavy, and then just kind of roll it up, kind of one vertebrae at a time. Okay, feel good?
Yeah.
All right. So let's take a look. I wanted to look at your golf clubs. Tell me about your golf clubs. Are those clubs that you got fit for you, or did you buy them off the rack?
Men's clubs.
They're men's clubs, okay.
Because they're heavier.
They're heavier, okay. But not fit for you, right?
No.
You bought them from somebody, okay. All right. So they're regular flex. So
Yes.
that's good. A lot of times I'll have students come with like a lot of times my ladies will come with their husbands like extra stiff shafts, and they're super heavy, and
Too heavy
that
for
makes it
them?
a little bit difficult. But they seem like they could be a little bit heavy. But you're fairly tall. How tall are you? 5'6"?
5'6".
Okay.
Ish.
All right, and you've got the Yonex, and so you've got the 3, and then this is a hybrid of some kind,
Yes,
like a 5,
This is 4.
4 hybrid. Okay. All right. No sand wedge.
Should be in there.
I don't see a sand wedge in there. Okay, and then you've got this is the driver that
Driver,
matches that.
yes.
Okay, and
That's
it's a 12
the
degree.
women's driver from the
That's
Yonex.
I was going to say that one's pink. The rest
Yes.
are red. Okay. All right. So you've got a women's driver, and then everything else is men's regular. Okay. Okay. Well, obviously, if you continue to play golf, it would probably be worth your while to maybe invest in, getting custom fit. Like just confirming that they're right for you. Not saying that they're not right.
For my
but,
putter, it is custom.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But that's the only club that's custom.
That's custom for you. Okay. Yeah, so it might just be something to consider. If you have, goals of, maybe playing beyond high school, maybe into college or something like that, then you'd want to just have somebody confirm that you're hitting the right flex and all that good stuff. So, but for now, yep, these will be just fine. Okay, let's see here. So talk to me, again, it's just, in terms of that goal, if we could eliminate some of those others, right? What would be a good goal for today?
Hit it straight.
Hit it straight. Okay. So if we were to hit, say, 10 shots, okay, what would be a good goal? If we were going to hit 10 and we wanted to try to hit those balls, hit these balls on the green.
5 out of 10.
If we we could get 5 out of 10 on the green.
Straight, not right.
Straight, not okay, but on the green.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty wide green. I mean, that green's probably 25 yards, 30 yards wide, right? So if we could hit 5 out of 10, about 50% of the time. Okay. And that would be good. I mean, I think the ones that you're wanting to eliminate are the ones that are, getting in that 25 to 30 yard right of your target, which makes it difficult, right?
Yeah.
It puts a lot of pressure on your short game to try to overcome those ball flights. So, okay, well, let's do this. I'd like you to just hit a couple of shots for me. I'd like you to hit maybe 5 shots, and I'm just going to observe kind of where you're at, and then maybe give you a little bit of feedback after that, after I see kind of what you do naturally. Okay. One thing I did want to ask you though, because it is important when I'm teaching to know what your learning style is. Do you know if you're more of a visual learner, or do you learn more through feel, or are you more of an audio?
Visual.
More of a visual. So if I were to demonstrate something.
Hands-on too.
Okay, so a little bit of hands-on too. Okay, and that's kind of that's really how I am. I think I like to look at video. I like to look at pictures. I can model after somebody, but I also need to be able to feel it in order for it to actually make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll kind of talk a little bit more about that, and I'll probably get my hands on you a little bit just to kind of hopefully help you to feel what we're trying to accomplish, and then I'm going to hit a few shots here first, so you can kind of just see what I do, and maybe that'll help as well. Okay, so that's great. I tell you what, why don't you go ahead and hit a few? Do you have some tees?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Again, I'm not going to say much for a few swings here. Okay. Just go ahead and just hit the ball like you do normally, as if you're out playing on the golf course. Okay. That's all right. Okay, so the majority of these shots have gone to the right, right? Occasionally we've hit a couple in the air, but they've all kind of had that little bit of a tail to the right, okay? This last one went right, but it went a little bit low. Okay, so there's a couple of things, Kaylin. I think we're going to spend quite a bit of time working on your setup and your alignment, okay? Because your alignment is a little bit off. You're aiming, gosh, on a few of those you varied a little bit, but on a few of these you were aiming left of the bunker on the left.
Like I kind of do that. Like I aim left. Hopefully it would go
Right.
right.
Right. To kind of, you're compensating a little bit. So what's happening though, because you're aiming so far right, you're actually cutting across the ball and you're putting a side spin on it. That's making the ball actually go that way. Okay, so I think we want to work on your parallel lines, getting your target line defined, okay? Getting you comfortable with what it feels like to be square, because I think you're always going to struggle with your body aiming this way,
Yeah.
right? You're never going to be able to fully release the golf club, because if you did, you'd hit it in that house over there, okay? So we want to get you, I think, just get you a little bit more parallel, okay? So I'm going to put these sticks down. I think visually, as a visual learner, it's going to help you to see where you're going, where you should be going. So I'm putting this first stick down to represent your target line. Okay, so this is your target line, and we're just going straight for the center of that green.
Okay.
Okay, we're just going to go dead center. And then we're putting down a second stick, which is going to represent your body line. Okay, so this is going to be your, basically your alignment from head to toe. Okay, so looking at me, if I get in here, grab the club. Right, I want this to kind of be your processor, and this is going to take some time. Okay, so we may not get, throw it out there right now, we may not get instant results here, because this is substantial, right? We're changing your setup a lot, but eventually, obviously, we would like to be able to start hitting more greens, right? Hitting more fairways, etc. But we're gonna hope that happens today. But you know, in the 30 minutes that we have, we may not be able to change the ball flight entirely. But I do want you to get comfortable with this. Okay, so when you're aiming, I always like to try to pick out an intermediate target. Okay, so something basically in front of me, that is in line with the ultimate target. Okay, so for today. Practicing by yourself, you can just sometimes you can just put a tee down or something, right? And just get comfortable with what does it feel like, but what does it look like to be aiming at a target? Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna walk into this. You're gonna set your club face down. Club face perpendicular to your target. Okay, so basically I'm forming a 90-degree angle with this stick. Okay, so I like the stick there because that helps you to see it. If your club face is like this, where's your ball gonna go? Right, the face is like this, right. So we're going to go club face down first, okay? Making sure that it's aiming right at that tee because we know that that tee is in line with the hole, exactly, right?
Yes.
So if we get that square, then we're going to be aiming at the target. Then from there, we're going to set your feet, okay? We're going to set your feet parallel to the white stick. We're going to make sure our knees, our hips, and our shoulders are also aiming at the target, parallel to our target line, okay? So I like to imagine a wall, an imaginary wall running from my feet all the way up to my shoulders. And I want to make sure that all of those body parts are up against that wall, right? I don't have my shoulders crashing into the wall here, right? I don't have my hips knocking the wall down here, right? I've got everything square to start, okay? It's kind of like, think of it as building a house. Did you guys ever build a house? Have you guys ever, or watched a house being constructed?
Yes.
Okay, so what do? They put down first, they put the concrete as the slab, right? That's your foundation, right? So that foundation has to be sturdy and strong in order for you, just like building a house, in order for you to have a good solid golf swing, right? If your setup is bad and your foundation is bad, just like in a house, that house is going to crumble, your golf swing's not going to hold up under pressure, and you're not going to be able to produce the type of ball flights that you want, okay? So we're going to get you set up, we're going to get you with a good solid foundation, and then we're just going to keep building on it from there, okay? All right, so let's jump in there, and let's just see how square we can get, okay? Over here.
Like I tend to put like my left foot further up, but I'm like this. I'm not sure that might have.
Okay. You put your left foot up, okay, so that would create, left foot up would actually create kind of a closed stance, but let's just see if we can get you comfortable with your feet being parallel to the stick, your hips being parallel, and your knees as well, okay? And then I'm going to come and check it with a couple more clubs. I'm going to check your shoulders, I'm going to check your hips after you get set up. So I actually don't want you to hit the ball yet, okay? I just want you to set up. Go ahead and grab that club. Okay, so I'm going to walk in and I'm going to put a club shaft on your shoulders and I'm put one on your hips, and we're just going to double check it. Your feet look good. Okay. All right. The shoulders are here. Hips on that. Both hip flexors. Okay. Now I want you to go ahead and drop your club down. Then I want you to back away. And I want you to come and stand right behind me. And tell me what you think. Are the clubs parallel?
No.
We're a little mismatched, right?
Yes.
Where are we mismatched?
The top one.
Okay. Where's the top one aiming?
It's like up.
Okay. But is it parallel to the white stick?
No.
It's up where? Is it right or left?
Left.
It's a little bit left, so it's a little, so okay. So your shoulders are a little open. And what about your hips? What about this?
Left.
So your hips are a little closed. Okay. So you're a little bit closed. So when you say that you hold, when you put your, when you say when you feel like your right foot's up or your left foot's up, yeah, that's closing your hips down just a little bit. So not terrible though. I mean, I've seen a lot worse. Okay, so let's try again. Get back just a little bit. There we go, so you can see the whole swing. so let's see if we can replicate that. Yeah, yep. Okay. All right, so we still got the same pattern, right? All right. Okay. We're going to one more thing in your setup. All right. Okay. Go ahead and grip it. I'm gonna make one change to your grip. Okay, because our grip is a little bit weak. Okay, cameraman over here. Thank you. Okay, so our grip's a little bit weak here. Okay. So that causes the ball to fly a little bit to the right. Okay, because you're not releasing it. Okay. So in order to get a little bit stronger, we're gonna get this hand a little bit, get the club a little more in your fingertips. We're gonna rotate that hand a little bit more on top, and you're gonna check to make sure that this V that you form between your index finger and your thumb is traveling right up here to your right shoulder. Okay? Now, the second change that we're gonna make is gonna be the positioning of your right arm. Okay? So you get a little bit high in your right arm. Yep. Okay. So what happens when this arm gets a little bit high? Okay. You have a tendency to go across the ball and then you spin it. Okay. Okay. And you make the ball kind of does this, right?
Like a circle.
Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. Okay, grip is better. Okay. So you understand the grip?
Yes.
That's gonna help you to release the club.
Definitely feels weird.
Yeah. It's gonna feel a little bit different. Now your right arm, I need to be able to get the club shaft in here. Okay. Different. Touch. Okay. You want to just let your arms hang. So think about when you set up, okay, because your right arm is below your left arm when you grip the club. That would mean that your right arm naturally, if you take the tension out, your right arm should just be hanging nice and free from your shoulders. Okay? When you do this, you're fighting that natural setup. Okay? So we want to just let that right side kind of sink down. Is there a reason why you choke down so much?
No.
No? Okay, I would go up. Go ahead.
it.
Yeah, just go up just a little bit. The club just is starting to look real short in your hand. Okay, so our lines are still good. Oh, check that club face. Good. All right. Good. Okay. You can let go for just 1 second. Just let your arms hang free. Okay. Feel the position of this arm? Okay. You're going to grip that hand right there. Okay. Good. All right. Do you feel a little softer in the right arm?
Yeah, I
Would
do.
that be accurate? Like you just feel like it's just kind of hanging a little more free? Good. All right. So now when I look from behind you, what I'm looking for is just a little bit of that arm. Okay. All right. Yeah. How's your club face? Is it square?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. Relax, breathe, and let's just hit a couple. Okay. Ball still flew a little to the right.
Feels weird. My grip.
Right. So here's the thing. Grip changes, they're
Yeah.
painful. Okay. It's going to take a little bit of time for you to release that golf club. And when I say release, that's going to mean for the club to actually turn over. Okay. So the golf club should open and then it should close.
Okay.
Should do this. Okay. Now because of your poor setup, because of the aiming things that we had in the weak grip, you haven't been in a position to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to probably take a little while for that club to release, but I think just improving your setup. All right, so right there. Do you feel the softness in that arm? Good. All right, a couple more. All right, now we hit the ground, but tell me about that ball. How did that ball fly?
Straight.
Straight, right? We didn't put that funny spin on it. All right. Okay, so we're going to commit to the parallel alignment. All right.
A little bit
A
right.
little bit better. So, an observation there. That ball flew at least 10 yards further. Did you notice that?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
felt it too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you're going to be in a position now to attack the golf ball and to release it, right? And to utilize some of your natural ability, right? You were just fighting yourself with the setup. Okay. All right, so we're square from head to toe. Our right side's nice and soft. Yeah, we can see that little bit of that left elbow. The arms are hanging just nice and tension free. All right. Okay.
I felt
All
like
right.
I turned
You
when
fell
I-
back just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of fell back like this.
Yeah, I
Right?
definitely felt that.
Right. And so part of that falling back was, again, because you'd worked yourself into that pattern, right? You kind of had to do that in
Yeah.
order to save the shot, right? So some of these things will just improve as
Have
you
to
start
work
to
on them.
trust. You just have to trust it, right? And then go ahead and just let it go, right?
Okay.
Don't be afraid to just rotate through, right?
Okay.
Because now you're in a position you can do that. Okay? Okay. All right, relax that right arm. Good. Okay, that's all right. Just a little bit late in getting the club to turn, right? The club to turn over. Now that grip, that stronger grip, right? In summary, this stronger grip should allow this to happen more naturally, okay? Because the club, the grip is a little bit stronger, right? And this should start to happen as you start
Okay.
to trust it a little bit more, okay? So just stick with it, okay?
Okay.
Make sure that you can see at least these two knuckles when you're gripping it, okay? And we talked about the V, okay?
Yeah.
When you look down, you want to see these two knuckles. If
Okay.
you see this,
Then there's something wrong.
something wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, too weak, okay? And then this is key, right? Feeling this right arm a little bit softer, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'd love for you to give me some feedback on, as you have some upcoming rounds, to let me know how you're progressing,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
If we're starting to hit upwards of 50, 60% of fairways, right, and greens,
Hopefully.
right? That's going to think how much better. It's going to take so much pressure off your short game, right?
It's gonna
And
help
then
my
we'll start
score.
getting those scores down to
80s.
in the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Okay, I'm going to update that. So that really is your goal, is to get out of the 90s. I mean, obviously you want to shoot 96 or below to get into state.
Yes.
Right, but your personal goal is going to be
Somewhere in like high 80s.
somewhere in the high 80s. All right, so we're going to break 90 by the end of the year, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, I hope we can do this again, because I think you have a lot of talent. I just think you just kind of got yourself a little bit off in your setup. But I think if you can get that under control, you're going to be great. Yeah. Okay, well, I hope to see you again.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Caitlin.